Greetings everyone and welcome to Coffee Black, where the Voyager adventures continue on YouTube. I'm your host, Captain G, and this is the channel where you get your refill of everything Star Trek Voyager related, from trivia, news, reviews, and more. So before I talk about today's topic, I'd like to encourage new viewers to subscribe to the channel, also check us out on X, formerly known as Twitter, and visit our Facebook page for more Voyager content. This video will be my breakdown for Star Trek Prodigy Season 2, Episode 4, Temporal Mechanics 101. Computer Access File Episode 4, Alpha and an Enhanced View Screen. So the episode starts with Murph in Astrometrics. Rock asks what he's doing, but it is interrupted by a communication from Janeway asking her to come to the bridge. Rock leaves, and we can see in the reflection of Murph's eye that someone is contacting him. On the bridge, Janeway and the command crew can tell something is off with the rift and that time is being altered. They theorize that the temporal shields are the reason nothing has changed on board the ship. Rock arrives and comes up with a way to help the Voyager crew contact the Infinity across time and space. On Future Solum, two guards comment on the protostar's disappearance. One of them is revealed to be the Diviner, and he states that they'll send 100 ships across time to recover the protostar. Elsewhere, the cadets attempt to repair the Infinity, and they eventually receive a message from Voyager. Dal gives the bad news about Chakotay escaping with the protostar, and the commander reveals that they lost contact with Gwen's shuttle, the Sacagawea. The shuttle's name is a reference to a Type 6 shuttle that appeared in the Star Trek Voyager episode Coda. The Infinity loses contact with Voyager, and the computer panel begins to malfunction, before writing out words saying "Save Gwen," followed by coordinates. Dal asks if the message was coming from Voyager, and the screen replies no. Dal elects to go to the coordinates while Jangum repairs the ship. Majel protests, but still comes along. On present-day Solum, Gwen continues to phase in and out of time when a burst of light takes her into an unknown place, and she communicates with the strange anomaly. The anomaly says to stay present, and that this isn't her time. The anomaly also says they need to be together, referring to her and her friends. Gwen phases back into the present and sees her father descending down toward her. Gwen says she's sorry she failed Solum, and her father says he won't leave her. Elsewhere, Dal, Majel, and Zero make their way to the hole in the ground, and Dal and Majel argue about how to find a way down. Zero scoops them up and hovers, carrying them both down to the bottom. While at the bottom, they see Gwen phasing back and forth between the future and the present. Zero says her quantum signature is displaced. They theorize that they could use the energy from the wormhole to travel back to the present on board the Infinity to help Gwen. In the present, Gwen says she saw her friends, and her father says he hopes to meet them one day. Gwen reveals he met them in another time, and it wasn't a good experience. She explained to some he was a soldier, a tyrant, but to her he was her father. He tells her that she is his only priority. On Future Solum, Jangum says he can't repair the ship to make it fly, but Dal says he won't have to. Voyager finally reestablishes contact, and the cadets tell them that Gwen is phasing in and out of time like a ghost. The doctor says that he'd have to examine Gwen because he is, and I quote, "I'm a doctor, not an exorcist." The cadets explain their plan to travel to the present, and Janeway asks how they could achieve such a feat. Majel references a TNG episode where Lieutenant Worf was able to jump across quantum timelines by regenerating an inverse warp field siphoned from a temporal anomaly. The ongoing joke about Dal never reading Temporal Mechanics 101 comes full circle when he asks them to send the material on the subject. The cadets move the Infinity to the hole while Dal watches the complete video presentation of Temporal Mechanics 101. The opening of the video shows the original USS Enterprise, references doing a slingshot maneuver around the sun, another reference to Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, and even mentions Q. The cadets start up the ship, and it draws power from the rift before shorting out and shutting down. Unfortunately, robotic enemies then arrive at the hole and begin attacking the ship. Jangum rants, not understanding why the ship won't work, and takes a hammer and hits it across a panel, causing the ship to work again. He humorously calls the maneuver percussive maintenance. Just as the robots begin breaking into the ship, time slows and stops before reversing. The Infinity successfully travels back in time and arrives in the present with Gwen and her father waiting. The cadets leave the ship and are startled to see the Diviner there, but Gwen tells them he's with her and on their side. Gwen asks how they found her, and Zero says they received a mysterious message from someone, and Gwen says she received the same. Zero gives Gwen a chronotonic hyperspray so that they can temporarily move her. Dal asks Jangum if he can get the ship to fly, and Jangum starts yelling because he's already explained he couldn't fix the ship. Miraculously, the ship starts to hover, and the cadets contribute it to the mysterious benefactor who had sent them Gwen's coordinates. Gwen promises her father she'll return, and they board the Infinity. The Infinity flies and is spotted by Essentia as it's leaving the planet. Essentia uses their presence to encourage a larger military presence on Solum. As the Infinity goes to warp on its way to Voyager, Gwen expresses her regret that she wasn't able to save Solum, and Dal tells her there's always time, and once she's better, she can go back to being the Queen of Solum. Majel compliments Zero for being the most logical of their group of misfits, and Zero is flustered. Janeway hails the Infinity, welcoming them back to their century. Rock says not to worry, and that they'll figure it out together. Gwen deliriously repeats the phrase, "We need to be together," over and over before passing out. When she awakens, she's in Voyager's sickbay, surrounded by her friends. Janeway comes to check on Gwen, and Dal apologizes for losing Chakotay and the Protostar. The Doctor reveals that he used a phase discriminator to build a temporal stabilizing armband, and while it's unable to be a permanent solution, it will still keep her with them for the time being. The cadets all reflect about who the mysterious stranger was, and who was contacting them, and wanting them to stay together. The episode ends with Murph talking to a mysterious being in Astrometrics. The being says, "Finally, you're all here, but I don't have much time. They're coming for me. Good luck." And then the being disappears. And there you have it. Those are all the Easter eggs and the complete breakdown for episode 4. This was another fun-filled time travel type episode that referenced a few fun time travel related things that appeared in previous Star Trek episodes, so I really enjoyed that. Overall, I think the storytelling made a lot of sense too as well, and it wasn't too complicated so that it was difficult to understand, but I also didn't feel like they were dumbing everything down too much, so I appreciated that form of storytelling as well. Overall, I think this episode was a very decent episode. I wouldn't quite say it's better than the first couple, but very on par with episode 3, which is why I will go ahead and give episode 4 a rating of 7 coffees out of 10. And that's all I have for all of you today. Breakdown video for episode 5 will be coming in shortly. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Live long and prosper.